I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Who you with, Kurt? I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome to Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. Welcome, I'm M. I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm M. Welcome to speak. 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 I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. Who you with, Kurt, dog?
Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, dog. I'm M. Who You With, Kurt, dog. Want to welcome everybody to Wednesday night. Man. One more night, Miss Risky will be here. Want to say welcome everyone to on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, of course Facebook. Realized last night it did not broadcast to both Facebook pages, so I had to share it on the other one. So tonight we are on both of them. So definitely you can live chat with us in the chat room. Before we get this party started, shout out to all the Deltas all across the world. Uh, what is it? 108 years since they've been created. Delta. That's what I'm talking about. Um, Congratulations to y'all, all the Deltas out there, for having a good sisterhood. So, welcome to the show, T-Cal. I see you and Fleet up in the building. Welcome to the show. Hopefully, you're having a great day today. Um, Man, it's been an interesting day today. Uh, Top of the news today, Trump been impeached again. They have agreed up on it, so um, it's gonna go to the Congress next, and they gonna hopefully they go ahead and pass it. We know some of them still acting kind of shady a little bit, but that's on a different level. Because some of them see that Trump does nothing wrong. T-Cal said, "Congratulations to my sorors." Um, Definitely. And later on in the show, probably about the last um, 30 minutes or so of the show, we'll let y'all call in and give shout outs to your line sisters, and if you have family members that is part of that great sisterhood, you can call in, and I'll be able to give a shout out to them. You can always call or text us during the show, 972 591 3665, 972 591 3665. Welcome to the show, Radio Chaos. My brother from Canada, who is always a faithful listener. Um, so yeah, so I I know it's a week away, but they are going through with the impeachment on Trump for inciting the riot last week. He hyped them up, and now they're gonna go ahead and impeach him for at least get him impeached, for he can actually won't be able to run again. Okay, Robin, I see you just came on to the show. Welcome, Robin, Patricia Lipsy. Not sure why um, Facebook is not coming across on my messenger, so I'm gonna be looking back and forward. Robin said, "I hope the FBI has him in cuff in the next few weeks." Um, I'm hoping at 12 o'clock on the 20th that at 12:01 they have him in cuffs and taking him where he need to go. Big Bubba waiting for him patiently. So they already drew the straws for him. So we know that's going to be interesting once he get there. They're going to try to put him in protected custody. And uh, but Bubba, he have a good history in that big house, so he'll be able to get in there. But then again, I'm gonna skip a couple of stories. You know, some of these people that been a part of this terrorist attack on Capitol Hill last week, we're still hearing about some of them committed suicide. So, like I told y'all, they really need to watch Trump. Robin said, "I hope those are the on the inside who aided and abetted those terrorists are outed and arrested too." Yes, they should be. They should definitely should be. Um, Radio said he has to be convicted, and the Senate to bar him from running again. They would need a fair number of Republican Senate to vote for a conviction to reach 60%. Well, I know at least 10 of them came over and agreed that he should be impeached. So hopefully they do what they need to do. Robin said, "I say, don't charge nobody till his pardon powers are gone." That's why I said 12:01. Once he's out, it's free fall then. It's gonna be all type of stuff coming up. So yeah, he definitely need to take those powers. And I don't see nobody I don't see Biden trying to pardon him once he's charged. I don't see it at all. Not after that debate when he brought up his son. Biden might be like, "Man, I ain't putting nothing on your books either." uh, Robin said this will be a definite moment for the future of the Republican Party right here. Yes, it will be, because a lot of people are really I don't understand. I'm not finna not finna go down for somebody like that, and they don't care anything about it. Matter of fact, Mitt Romney, uh, he taught Ted Cruz, and let me look at my notes. Taught Ted Cruz and Josh Haley in law school. He said apparently they didn't pay attention in class because he taught them in law school, but they not following the law. So he said they didn't pay attention. I think it's one of those things where they trying to keep their seat at the table. But as so many people are starting to get convicted, I forgot. I think I heard like last I've heard like over 180 people been arrested so far for this. So it's definitely gonna keep going up. Robin said Trump law. Yeah, Trump law, but like I always said, you don't follow somebody who is doing dirt and expect for everything to turn out right. It may look good right now, but now there's a lot of people starting to realize they made some big mistakes. Kind of like uh, one guy on video said don't arrest me. I'm married to a black woman. What that got to do with it? You was there, you was part of it, you gotta go. You have to go. So that's gonna be a lot to look at, because with the impeachment. Hopefully it goes through this time. I don't see why it won't, because if anybody vote to not impeach him, they part of the problem. They really are going to be part of the problem. With everything this man have done, yes, he should be impeached with no problem at all. Um, I'm really not sure why um, Facebook is not coming up on my monitor. I wish it was, but we'll get through it. We will make it work. Um, but other than that, hey, it's we seen the writing on the wall a long time ago. We knew the type of person that Trump is, and we know what he stand for. He only stand for himself. He don't care about no one else. Um, he'll pretend like he'll say things to make people feel good, but Trump really don't care. I'm surprised Pence even didn't take the stand and put him out in the first place, for the simple fact um, he could have stopped out and could have stopped a lot of this. Yeah, it's gonna be people upset about it, but at the same time, the law is the law. And looking at um, the preparation for the inauguration for next week, there's a lot of military activity going on around the White House. They're getting prepared for war. So, and the bad part, it shouldn't even be like that. Somebody gonna win, somebody gonna lose, but we still have to live our life. Okay, Trump could have. Well, no, he couldn't have come back, but he could have just took the laws, received that check every year, and keep on moving. Receive the benefits. Now those benefits are at risk. Exactly, I agree with you, Radio. You can make all the laws you want, but if you don't enforce them laws, they are useless. I agree with you. For the simple fact, I said when they did that in Michigan, they should have actually um, they should have put a stop to it then, when they raided the Capitol in Michigan, just because they wanted them to open the state back up. And if that was handled properly, we never would have seen this in Washington. That, I just feel like that action alone show a weakness with America, because people can be bought. And I think some of these people probably have been bought to turn the blind eye on what was going on. Yeah, you in these positions to protect and serve, but then when it happened, you turned the other way and look elsewhere. You didn't do your job. So I think if any of those officers was involved, they should be brought up on charges also. Um, even uh, Ted Cruz. One of the headlines today, Ted Cruz receiving a lot of backlash about the riots last week, because he was very outspoken about January 6th also. And they're actually talking about putting Ted Cruz on the no-fly list. So I'm like, hey, that was his choice. Um, Robin said he's a narcissist. He need constant gratification. No waking away quietly for him. No walking away quietly for him. Um, but yeah, it's definitely um, that's Trump. He want everybody to cater to him. And if you go back and watch old videos of Trump, welcome to the show, Neva Patel. I always see you step in. You can always chat live with us on Facebook. Um, Radio said good. Cruz deserve it. He's now an extremist, in my opinion. Yes. Um, so if you go back and watch your videos of Trump, I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago, uh, news interviews. Trump was the same back then. He just much worse today. So yeah, it's crazy. As for Ted Cruz, I'm like, hey, he encouraged this, and now they are talking about putting him on a no-fly list. Matter of fact, with him, um, um, he's having all type of backlash. Robin said, I have to admit, I have totally enjoyed watching the airport freak out videos of these losers. Love them. Yeah, it's crazy. Matter of fact, I didn't get a chance to look at it, but shout out to Sean King and his team. He tweeted earlier today that every video that was taken at Capitol Hill during that riot, they put them all together on one thing, and there's a link for them. Um, so Sean King and his team did that, and there's a lot of them. I'm like, wow. Um, so hopefully, with these videos coming up, um, hopefully more arrests are made. It needs to be. Ted Cruz, I agree. I it, I've been very outspoken. He don't need to be in office. Uh, they have a petition going around now telling him he need to resign. Then now they talking about he's on a no-fly list. Where they talking about putting him on a no-fly list, and his top staffer, his top aide, had actually resigned after the riot at the Capitol. Welcome to the show, Marcellus. I see you and Flip up in the house too. Said, "What's up, my peep? My people, I think Trump is walking the back state, the back streets and crying. He ain't doing Little Milton, is he? Um, that's what it sounds like. He probably doing more than that. So they definitely need to monitor everything he do, and for our safety and as well as his safety, because some people don't know how to handle pressure. Ooh, that's good. I'm drinking a little bit of cranberry juice tonight. Cruz seemed to lack empathy, just like Trump. Yeah, it hurt me so bad to hear America say goodbye. Goodbye to who? To Trump? It don't hurt me. He should have been gone. He never should have been in there. To be quite honest with you, he never should have been in there. Um, so that's interesting. Ted Cruz top aide resigned after that ride. See, when people start falling off out of your camp like that, it's something going on that we don't know about. Because there's no telling what this young lady heard behind scene. Now, she probably won't be able to discuss it, but it's probably more to that whole entire story. And that's one of the saddest part about it, because here it is. Trump lost. More threats are coming out. Somebody sent me something earlier saying that January 20th. Please do not allow your kids to walk to school by themselves. Whatever the threats may be, I think it was targeted toward uh, black people and gay people, is what the text said. So we have to be careful. Pay attention to your surrounding. If for any reason um, if someone is looking to get the LTC, definitely let me know if you here in Texas. If you're not, reach out to me. I'll see if I can connect you with somebody with whatever state you're in. But we're going through some tough times right now. But you need to pay attention to your surrounding. Everything around you, you need to pay attention to. T-Cal said exactly. We flipped and allowed him in. Glad we got it together. So he couldn't stay. Gotta go, gotta go. Marcella said, America told Trump, you ain't got enough of nothing to keep us halfway, please. Yeah. He said, yeah, they're trying to target all 50 states, state capital. Yes, we talked about that the other day where they're trying to target the capital. But here in Dallas, in the Metroplex, specifically down in Crowley, Burleson area, um, uh, Tarrant County Sheriff and the Fort Worth Police have released a statement a couple of days ago saying that a threat have came out uh, trying to kidnap kids and also trying to kidnap kids and trying to um, kidnap them and do things to kids. But the text I received today said they're targeting black people and gays. So I don't care who you targeting. We all need to be safe. We all need to be. Um, and pay attention to our surrounding. T-Cal said all our brown flash black brothers and sisters have to be careful. Yes, yes we do. Um, as we know, with the riots went on, there have been some policemen that actually been arrested for, well, not arrested, but it's up on the investigation by their departments um, for attending that rally. So that tells you there. I've said all the time. A lot of them put their uh, suits, their robes, the damn Klansman suits down, and then they picked up uniforms, uh, judges' robes, and attorney suits. Um, so definitely be careful. Robin said, "Wait, I missed that. What? Which part did you miss? Talking about the part of the threats that have came out, where they're talking about targeting kids and also targeting um, blacks and gays, um, and that been several threats that came out in the Dallas Metroplex and the DFW Metroplex. So, um, yes, that's exactly what it is, the threats. And I'm just warning everybody, regardless of where you are, please do not let your guards down, because we are dealing with some trying times. It's rough out here, and there's some crazy people out here. There's uh, some people that is actually have serious mental issues, and that's scary within itself, because when you deal with a person that is not mentally stable, you don't know what to expect from that person. Whether if it's a uh, just a joke to put fear in somebody, or if it's true, we need to pay attention to what's going on. We don't know what may happen, so definitely, regardless of where you are, pay attention to it. Your surrounding at all times, um, and just make sure you're able to stay safe and keep your family safe by any means necessary. Robin said, I live in the Northwest where the Proud Boys originated from. My brown daughter is going nowhere. Exactly. Um, I'm just saying, be safe, be safe, because we don't know what's true, what's not true, and that's the scary part about it. Um, the radio said they should have Haley and Cruz testify on the oath at the congressional committee. They will have. They will have to down the road. Yeah, they should. They should because I'm telling you, it's it's not looking good. It's not looking good, and for both of them, especially Cruz. Cruz done all of this, and now it's not looking good for him. Just like Ken Patson. Yeah, I believe it was 50 judges here in Texas that have signed a letter condemning the riot, that the terrorist attack that happened at the Capitol last week, and only one person refused to sign it. Y'all already know who that is. The one trying to get that pardon. So that's just crazy within itself. They don't. What would it do by you signing to agree that it was a condemning it? Now they said he did come out and say individually it was wrong, but you didn't want to sign the papers, the letter that all the other 50 judges signed, and you refused to. But that's well expected from Ken Patson. But I'm gonna just say this: got about a week left, and he might be sitting right next to Trump. That's all I'm gonna say, cause in that story they did bring up that um, they talked about his conviction. Well, his alleged crime that he did in that story. So yeah, it's coming. Um, Robin said, these shit bags are dangerous. I had people flipping off my son while we protest. He is 10. My son in defense gave it right back. But it just goes to show you these assholes have no boundary. Um, I agree with you, Robin. I seen a couple of months ago this woman approached this woman that had her young child out there, and she made threats to the mother, telling her, "Why are you bringing your child out here? You should be supporting Trump. You shouldn't be supporting Black Lives Matter." It was a Black Lives Matter rally, and this woman just went off on this woman because the woman was a Caucasian woman, and this woman just went off on her because she had brought her child out there and they was marching. Her child wanted to go, and this woman charged them up. So people don't care, and had the child crying. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Um, TKL said folks are going crazy just because they lost. Marcella said go to Oak Cliff and try it. Yeah, you really trying to cause some problem then, Marcellus, because you know that won't happen. Um, yeah, that won't happen at all. Um, well, they tried it. They tried it when they went over to the church, but that didn't happen no more. Because once it got on social media, I think a lot of the church showed up real quick. So that won't happen again. Um, uh, Radio Chaos says some of these Republican politicians don't realize the seriousness of what they have set in motion with their lies. I totally agree with that, because if you are talking hate and doing hateful things, and if you're not standing for what's right, you part of the problem. That's why it's so important for us to get out and vote. We need to get out and vote, and 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 get rid of them. Anybody who is not on board to get rid of Trump at this point, they are part of the issue. Take note of it, and if they are representing your state, you need to vote them out when they re-election come up. Look at what Georgia did. Georgia showed up and showed out. Uh, it was looking kind of scary at first, but then, nah, they came back and turned Georgia blue, from peach to blue. Um, Robin said, yeah, but you got to worry about the line, a handful of people who are so crazy, they will try to become the next Timothy McVeigh. Ooh, yeah. Um, I would bet someone for that. Yeah, because a lot of people may not realize Timothy McVeigh, because I remember when that happened. Um, I normally don't take a nap in the middle of the day, but for some reason it was my off day, and I took a nap, woke up, and I see on the news, uh, Oklahoma Capitol blew up, and I'm like, wow. And from my understanding, even though that was a domestic terrorist, I I cannot recall them calling it that during that time. They probably did. I just didn't hear it myself. But that is that's the type of people we deal with, because we also must realize they did find a couple of pipe bombs at the at Capitol Hill that could have went off and killed several people. So that's a scary sight. That's something to be concerned about, um, because people don't realize, people don't handle disagreement, uh, stress, and everyday activities that goes on in your life. They don't handle them that good, um, and because of that, people turn to the most extreme things. Some people feel like violence get everything solved, but if you really think about it, it might temporarily solve it. I'm gonna say put a band-aid on the issue, but at some point, you're going to be held accountable for it. And then when you get held accountable for it, you want to cry. You want to say it's wrong. No, think about your actions before you do it. Think about them. Because when I see guys that go out and commit these crimes, then when they go to court, they in there crying and I didn't mean to do it. What you think that was gonna happen once you picked that gun up? Shot that gun. What did you think was gonna happen? You was eventually gonna get caught. You may not get arrested right away. It may be later on that day. It may be a couple of days, maybe years away. But eventually you're gonna get caught. And it's not good. You see, Marcella's trying to cause some problem. Said that's just as bad as trying to cut through the line of Sweet Georgia Brown. Yeah, if you don't know if you're not from Texas, you don't know what Sweet Georgia Brown is. I'm gonna just say this: Sundays after church, before pandemic, uh, it might be a line going around the building just to get up in there. So, soul food place, which is back in the days I used to eat there. I don't anymore. But if I'm in the area and I see that line around the building, I'm like, I guess they still serving it up. So, yeah, but Sweet Georgia Brown, I used to go there a lot, quite a bit back in the days. I don't do it anymore. But yeah, on a serious note, where's the next Malcolm X or the next MLK Jr.? Well, we have a lot of great leaders that actually get overlooked. We have a lot of great preachers that are on the front line. Even my pastor, Pastor Frederick D. Haynes III, he's very active in the community. Social justice. He's all about making sure we hold the city of Dallas accountable. They've been fighting with the city for a pretty good while because here in Dallas we have issues where all of the landfills is located in southern Dallas and Oak Cliff. So along with that, this is the only area out of the entire Dallas Metroplex where they have a landfill within the city of Dallas. They don't have them up in North Dallas. They don't have them up in University Park, Highland Park, Preston Oak. They don't have them up there, but they bring everything down to the south where the is low income and a lot of minorities live there. And the sad part about it, in those particular areas, we don't have no grocery stores close by. You may have to drive 5 to 10 miles just to get to a grocery store. They had one, but they just recently closed it down. And from my understanding, that particular grocery store was having bad food or something on the shelves. The food wasn't always that good, be outdated. So even Walmart, which was at a pretty good location, there's a lot of apartment complex by the Walmart, a lot of houses over there, walking distance, where people could go. Then all of a sudden, Walmart got up, packed up, and left. No notice, no nothing. Hey, we out of here. Now, this particular area is stuck with no grocery store. Well, if you don't have a car and you have to drive um, have to try to catch a bus to go to a grocery store, that's not good. But as for the next MLK, Malcolm X, it's some great preachers out here. There are some great people, ordinary people in the community that are doing some great things that we don't hear about. It's basically one of those, um, you hear about it by word of mouth. You may know somebody who they know, and in conversation they may bring it up. But it's a lot of great leaders here in Dallas, um, but they don't. It's not about being recognized, but at the same time, they do what they have to do for their community, and that's why I say all the time we need to um, take our communities back over. We need to make sure our community is going in the right direction. We need to invest in grocery stores in our neighborhood. Um, just like, kind of like, matter of fact, one of our listeners, and I he actually passed away a couple of weeks ago, Charles Hunt. Um, but he was listening to a show, Faithful Listener, and he actually, we talked about this before about black owned grocery stores, and he was telling us about the Ralph in LA that is black owned. Well, we need more of that, because one thing about Oak Cliff, the city of Dallas, they gave a huge grant to someone to open up a grocery store in Oak Cliff, and within several years they was out of there, got the money and gone. Why? Why are you investing in people like that? Let's invest in. First of all, you can. I would say, why don't you? You're gonna give that type of money. Make it where you can actually uh, take over this grocery store, open it back up, get it rebuilt, open it back up, and turn around, have people from the community working there, because it'll be closer to their home. Some people don't have jobs because they don't have the means to get there. But if you have something in the neighborhood that is walking distance, yeah, open it back up. Let's do it. I'm all for it. Um, T Cal said, I haven't been there in years, but it was a place for me when I was in college. Yeah, she talking about Sweet Georgia Brown. Sweet Georgia Brown was good. Robin said, ooh, I should have brought my iPad because it's kind of small. Said, see, Trump has these people who truly believe what he has said. These are people who believe they are fighting for our country. We say it in the mass shooting in Texas. We saw it. Uh, we saw it in the church shooting and several other violent events that were inspired by Trump. These people, like the woman killed in the Capitol, who go all in thinking they are fighting for our country, these are very dangerous people who have been activated by Trump. Retro, they're they aren't going any. They aren't going away. So yeah, I should have brought my iPad in here because reading these on the phone is kind of small. But yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people, because Trump know what keywords to use, make America great. But the reality, when have America been great for everyone? It's definitely a great a great country. I'm glad to be an American. But America haven't always been great for me, for my family, my ancestors, haven't always been great. But people want to give this persona that America is the best place to live. That's the reason why they don't want to teach the real history of America, because America is ashamed of the history that it have actually done, and it's really really a kind of make America like a hypocrite, because you want to talk about how great America is, but you don't want to talk. You don't want people to know the real history of America. And if you want to be transparent, you need to be able to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, regardless of how it may look. But if people would respect it more if they know the history and all the blood, sweat, and tears where our ancestors have done to build America. It don't They don't want that to be known. They don't want to talk about how America was actually stolen from Native Americans. So it's we need to talk about the real America. That's the reason why Greg Abbott got upset when a teacher taught a lesson last year, saying that did a homework assignment comparing the police to the clans, because the Klansmen would come to our ancestor home, pull them out, kill the father or the brother, rape the mothers, the kids, or whatever. Whatever they wanted to do, they could do no wrong. But see, they don't want to talk about that part of it. So, make America great? When was it really great? Oh, yeah, we all have good times here. We've all done some great things in America. But let's talk about the real history of America. It haven't always been that great. Not for minorities, it haven't. So it's that's my opinion of it. If I'm wrong, please correct me, because somebody else may say, no, it's been great for me. Welcome to the show, Tenny Adams. I see you came back. Amen. Bottom feeders. Yep. That's exactly right. So I'm just saying, I just want to know, when was American great for everyone? I had to get my iPad because my eyes, once you get over a certain age, Marcellus, once you get there, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But once you get over a certain age, the eyes don't work too good no more. I remember I used to, when I used to go get my DOT physical, I could go in there and read that bottom line on the eye test. The very last line. They like, oh, you can see that? I sure can. I was proud of it. But as soon as I turned 40, I'm like, wait a minute. What's that again? They said, look, you need to go get you some glasses. Robin talking about you blind like me. And Tanner said it hasn't been great. Talking about America. T-Cal said it hasn't always been great for women. Ooh. Minorities are gays. Boy, y'all saying some stuff tonight, cause no, it haven't. Because the thing is, when it come down to women, man, that could be a show by itself. Because back in the old days, they felt like the women's job was to take care of the house And if you listen to uh, James Evans, he said the kitchen and the bedroom, that was the woman's job, the kitchen and the bedroom. And for me, a woman is equal just like a man. And in today's society, let the truth be told, most women make more money than their spouse do. So it should definitely be equal. Yeah, times have changed because as a black man, regardless of what education you have, you may not be able to get that job even though you qualified because they see a black man as a threat. And as for the women, they don't want to pay them a fair salary, which is crazy. They should get paid a fair salary just like their counterpartners. So it's definitely, it's not equal. Definitely not that. Trying to see where I got stuff going on, both of them. Radio said people think they know what it was living in a different area based on TV shows. Exactly. I'm gonna tell you because, man, it's a different time. I'm not gonna even lie to you. Um, at one point before my grandfather passed, he actually stayed with us for about a year or so. Um, and as a child, I guess I was about 16 years old. I went to school. I came home. I go back there, sit in a room with him, watch TV, and we talk. And now my grandfather was born in 1900, but he would talk about some of the things they've gone through, and occasionally, um, before when my mom and her siblings will get together and they start reminiscing about some of the things they've gone through. So it was rough. But I think what most people in America try to do today, they want to go back to like 85 to today. Because in 85 they had that old saying, kicking it live in 85, make it seem like everything was okay. But the reality is not. I remember as a child, uh, we stayed in Oak Cliff and over off of Illinois and Bonneview. And there was this Burger King right there. Right now today is last time I seen it was a Williams Chicken, but it was a Burger King right there. And coming from school and having to pass by there for like 2 or 3 days, that was my first time seeing a Klansman in full wardrobe, just standing out there. That was my first time seeing them face to face. And that was like in the 80s. So, and that was also during the time when the Children of Atlanta was coming up missing. Because I remember Clarice Tinsley at 10 o'clock before she came on, they would play this message. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Now just imagine that. To be quite honest with you, the voice they use kind of made me nervous. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if I want to listen to that. Uh, But the thing is the message of it. It was putting out an alert about the kids. Do you know where your kids are? It's 10 o'clock. Basically telling the parents your kids should be at home. Now the kids are raising themselves. Um, so I'm gonna catch up on some of these messages. Uh, Robin said you blind like me. I'm blind with fat thumbs. That's why my texts are missed. The value of what the flags stand for, not the hypocrite or the malicious redneck. Ooh, and that's for my tenant Adams. Don't feel bad about having to wear glasses. I'm in the same boat. I don't feel bad. I'm like, hey, I grab them in a heartbeat. Some days I feel like, oh, I don't need them. Then I start looking and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. I need them. Mess around and go to the store and leave my glasses at home because I don't want it to fog up from my mask. And I get in the store and be looking like, wait a minute, hold on. let me go and do something different. Okay, I'm sorry, mispronouncing your name. Don't uh, Miss Tina said my name is pronounced Tina. I apologize. I was going by the spelling. Oh, Prince Hall Apartments area. Woo. Yeah, Prince Hall. Um, Angelo grocery store. What you know about that? Go in there and get $2 worth of bologna. Angelo's. Then also, I don't know if you went over to Gold Star. Gold Star was over there off of Illinois and Overton, Illinois and Overton, over at Gold Star Food Store, sit right on the corner. They had some of the best bologna it was. Um, she said for $5. Yeah, you could go in there and get them. Go in there and get you some bologna and press ham. Be like, hey, let me get a couple of dollars that bologna, a couple of dollars that press ham. Then get that town talk bread and that sandwich bread and some Fritos. See, back then they didn't have all these different flavors of chips. Because if I decide to get chips today, it take me about 15 minutes. Because, like, man, all these different flavors, why is it so hard to pick chips? Back then, you only had mostly Fritos and Lay's. And then sour cream and onion came out. So back then, it was like, hey, uh, well, it was Fritos and corn chips. I said Fritos and Lay's, corn chips. But I definitely used to love that. And then get that red cream soda. Man, it's been a while since I. It's hard to find some good fresh cut lunch meat like that today. Um, because I used to love that. Oh, I used to work at Angelo's on Sunnyvale and Overton. So you know about Records Barbecue Place. Um, that was right next to it. I talked about it last night. For some reason last night, um, I didn't broadcast on that particular page you're on. Um, for the last 2 days, Facebook been having issues, but we on it tonight. But yeah, Records Barbecue was uh, Miss Barbara Record and her husband. And I mentioned last night that that was in a sense my first job. I was about 6, 7 years old, and when I come home from school, she would pay me to sweep outside the store, and just sweep the sidewalk. She'd give me a couple of dollars and then give me a chopped beef sandwich, and I was happy. So that put the hustle in me. That's why I said uh, if if you start to teach a child early in life, they would always remember that. And she instilled in me just by what she did to allow me to come out there to sweep the sidewalk off. And it wasn't big at all, just right in front of their store, just to sweep it off and give me a couple of dollars and then give me a chopped beef sandwich. I was like, man, I was sorry with that. So, Miss Barbara Record, yeah, I always said that was my first job. But yeah, you can always catch the replay. I actually had to share last night's show on the page that you're on because it didn't record on there. We didn't go live. We was live on the show page. But yeah, you can always go back and rewatch them. If you can't find them on Facebook, you can always go to YouTube. Um, the record shop is still there. Oh, it is? Man, that is it. I wonder if it's owned by the same person. That was always pretty good. Um, it used to be that record shop, and then there was one over in what is that off of Fordham and golly, what street is that? It's not Fordham and Overton. Um, golly, I have it on the tip of my tongue. That shopping center. I don't think that's Cedar Crest Shopping Center, but it wasn't too far uh from the shopping center we're referring to. Um, so but definitely y'all can uh chat live with us. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. You can always chat live with us. You can also call or text us. Um, if you ever have a show topic, you can also email us. So have all that information going across the top of the stream. Um, so that's always good. She said that's for Lancaster. No, it was another one off of Sunnyvale and Fordham. Sunnyvale and Fordham. Um, oh yeah, like I said, Oak Cliff is my hood. I'm from the hood. I grew up on well, I stayed in Sutton Oaks at one point. Sutton Oaks, Royal Crest, Cary Arms. See, that's old school. See, Cary Arms is where the new Maceo Smith is today. It used to be Cary Arms back in the days, but um, back then we used to hate when it rained because we had like a lot of um, it was a lot of woods around that area. So when it rained, um, no rats got to go somewhere. They come out the woods trying to get in to get out the rain. Um, so it depends on what type of rain it was. I'm like, man. Then we used to see sometimes we walking home in those fields and we would see those huge big grass snakes. I'm talking about like the ones that was probably about this big around, real long. We be passing by and be like, "Whoa, look at that snake!" I'm like, mm-mm. That's why I don't like snakes today. Um, yes, it would flood. The apartments were old then. Yes, they were. No rats were so big. When they trying to get in the house to get out the flood, I'm talking about they're bigger than my foot. They were huge, and they would it sounded like somebody was trying to break in the house when they trying to get in because they didn't have nowhere to go. They was trying to get dry. I'm like, oh no. Radio asked, what is the roughest part of Dallas like? Everybody would tell you different areas. If you look at the news, they're gonna say Oak Cliff, South Dallas, but I think it's all over. It just depends on where you are, because the thing is, if you are from that neighborhood, what other people may think that it's rough, that's just a natural thing. They may feel like it's the fun hood. So as for just saying any particular part of Dallas that is rough, it just depends on where you are, because crimes happen everywhere. Um, you hear about more crimes in Oak Cliff and South Dallas because that's what people want you to know. Because normally those are um, the neighborhoods where back in the days it was majority blacks, but now you see a lot of Hispanics in these same neighborhoods. So it's they're gonna talk about they're gonna talk bad about certain of part of Dallas, because they don't want to talk about uh, little Jimmy got upset because his mama told him he had to take the trash out, and he split a throat or something. They not gonna talk about that on the news. So, or little Jimmy going to shoot up a school or something. They won't talk about stuff like that from certain neighborhoods. So, or they won't talk about the use of drugs in certain neighborhoods. If you notice, when Trump got in office, one of the first things he did was talk about the opioid drug issues that is going on. But all these years with crack going on, they never said it was a crisis about crack, or talked about signing something in law to help people get off of crack. But when it started affecting particular neighborhoods with the opioids or whatever they call the pills people were popping, getting addicted to, when it started affecting the uh, certain neighborhoods, that's when it become a crisis. But let's talk about the crack incident, the crack crisis that been going on, uh, what, since the 80s or something, and they don't want to talk about it because it don't affect certain neighborhoods. But if you really pay attention to it, there's crackheads in every neighborhood. Bottom line is people that use drugs in every neighborhood, but they're not gonna highlight it up north in Preston Hollow or Prestonwood or University Park or uh, they're not gonna talk about it up there. So, but they always bring it out down here in the southern sector of Dallas, and kind of like I think it was earlier last year before the pandemic hit. Um, it was an incident that happened where somebody knocked on this guy's door. This the story that came out. Somebody knocked on this guy's door, took his wallet, and shot him. And when I heard the story, first thing I said, that's a drug deal gone bad. That's all it is. And I think it later came out, some of the neighbors said, well, we think he was buying drugs or on drugs or something like that. And I guess the dope man robbed him and shot him. So, but they don't want to talk about things like that on a regular base because it would put a stain on Dallas. Kind of like America and the history of America. They don't want to talk about the real history because it will put a stain on America. If you go to other countries, first thing they're going to think, all black folks are bad. But it's not true. That'll be the first thing they hear. Oh, black folks. Oh, y'all bad. That's why they talk about the BLM protests. Why they talk so bad about that? Because the thing is the name Black Lives Matter. Oh, they thugs. They looters. But they don't want to talk about the fact that what happened last week. Yeah, they been talking about it, but they ain't talking about it like it was with Black Lives Matter. They didn't for a while. They did not. Finally, people just started calling them terrorists, like hours later. But at first, they were talking about the mob, the mob. No, call it like it is. It's a domestic terrorist. That's all it is, a domestic terrorist. So, to answer your question, Chaos, it's hard to say because I'm like this. I can go to any neighborhood. I can make arrangement. I can adjust to any neighborhood I'm in because I tell people all the time. I grew up in Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, East Dallas, and hung out in South Dallas. So, and I stayed in North Dallas for a while, so I can make adjustments. I'm jack of all trade. It depends on what's going on. I know me personally, I could be anywhere and something can pop off. I remove myself. I just don't have time for it. Uh, Tina said it's even dropped to me. Oak Cliff used to say South Dallas, Dixie Circle. That was my first project party, Dixie Circle. Back in the days. Yeah. Which in reality, now they call Oak Cliff South Dallas. They consider that as South Dallas. South Dallas is normally over by the Fair Park, but if you from for years, as I didn't realize till I got older, um, until I got grown, and people would always call when you talking to black folks, they would call South Dallas South Dallas, but when you heard it on the news, they would call South Dallas, and I'm like, wait a minute, that area is not located in South Dallas. That's Oak Cliff. I was like, because when I was growing up, it was like, okay, you're in Oak Cliff, you're in South Dallas, but they consider South Dallas as Oak Cliff also. Um, but back then, growing up, you just always knew, oh, I'm going to East Dallas, going to hang out with my family. Oh, I'm going over to South Dallas, kick it with my boys, um, heading back to the Oak Cliff. So, but the reality, they consider Oak Cliff as South Dallas. But somebody who's from Dallas, they're gonna separate the two. Um, they'll call it the southern sector of Dallas, but it's still Oak Cliff, my hood, um, as they say. But definitely, um, man, I said I was gonna let the Deltas call in. If there are some Deltas out there that want to shout out to your sorority, you can more than definitely call in or put it in the chat. Um, you can call in 972-591-3665, 972-591-3665. Uh, uh, no, I didn't. I did not know that. Um, Tina Adams said, did you know that in the 1940s, Oak Cliff was its own municipality? I did not know that. That's some good history lesson. Um, I'm gonna have to definitely do some research on that because this Dallas have a lot of great history. Um, even though I talked about the rats that we had to deal with coming out the fields when it rained and carry arms, but if you went to Texas Theater regardless of which one, because it was two of them. Uh, was it Texas? Yeah. It was one off of Lancaster over in that shopping center before you got to Illinois. It was one there. No, was it? Yeah, I think it was Texas or Cedar Crest Theater or something. But you had to deal with. You could be in there watching a movie, then all of a sudden you'll see one of these big rats run across the stream, and you like, is that a cat? No, it was a rat. Um, so that was something we had to deal with. Texas Theater is on Jefferson. I'm aware of that, but it used to be a movie theater right off of Illinois and Lancaster. That shopping center down from where the new Records barbecue is. It's a grocery store where it used to be. That may have been uh, yes, I can't remember if that. I want to say that might have been Cedar Crest Theater, one of the two. Um, Kind of like back in the old days. Um, oh, T. Cal said Dallas is a good place to live. It's like I love Texas, good or bad. That's my home with the heart symbol. Exactly. See, I'm gonna really tell my age now because back in the days, remember down there off of 45, right today is the sewer plant. Uh, Used to be a movie theater over there, and if you get in the right spot, if you got there early enough, people will pull over on the side of 45 and cut their radio station. Well, it wasn't the radio station, because back then they didn't have that. I guess they used to put the little speakers in in the in the window for you can hear the movie. But people will pull over on 45 and read lips um, from the drive-in theater. So uh, that was good. Okay, so it was Crest the. You said no Crest Theater. Yeah, that was Crest Theater. That was at Lancaster in Illinois, and I said I'm over 50. Okay, you not too much ahead of me. I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm getting there. So that's Dallas have a lot of good history. Um, Besides the things that Dallas had, the killing of President JFK, but Dallas is great, and Dallas have always been known for great music. Um, uh, Talking about great music have always came out of Dallas, and unfortunately, um, okay, no to Texas. Yeah, so it was Cedar Crest Theater. Um, Dallas music do not get recognized like it should be. There's only a few people that is in the music industry that get recognized. That's the reason why um, uh, starting Monday, we should have our first artist on to actually kick off our music section where we're gonna be able to have artists come on and talk about their music and display their music. So we should be kicking that off Monday. Um, Tina talking about Longhorn Ballroom and Sportatorium. See, now you really reminiscing. Longhorn Ballroom. Uh, I I don't think I ever. I was too young to go there. But seemed like they had something there because they tried to bring it back, and I think I went there for a blues show. They tried to bring it back in the same place, and I'm thinking that same bull is still out there. And she talked about JT, Johnny Taylor. Um, yeah, that was Johnny's spot back then. Uh, he used to go there all the time. Now the sportatorium, world class wrestling, man, that was the bomb. Even though we knew it wasn't always real, but uh, she said that bull is still out there. Um, Even though we knew the wrestling wasn't real, but a lot of past big name wrestlers, they started here in Dallas. Ric Flair, used to see him wrestle all the time at the Sportatorium. Uh, I think Hulk Hogan did a small thing here. He didn't spend a lot of time here, but Iceman King Parson, he eventually went to WWF for a little bit, but he started here, and I believe he's straight out of Fort Worth, Texas, and but he during that time I think he lived in Oak Cliff while he was wrestling. I know we used to see him all the time at a little shop across from Gold Star. Um, yeah, it is. It's a tough gig being a wrestler. Yes, it is. It definitely is. I've seen Jake the Snake Robertson. He used to wrestle here too, and I seen his story they did on him, and it was hard. Kamala, he passed away. I think it was last year when he passed away, but they set him up as if he was from Africa or somewhere, but he was straight out of Texas. Um, Akbar, what's his name? His trainer, Akbar. I used to go to Golden Corral and see him all the time. I'm like, okay. Um, so the Von Erichs was all. Oh, I didn't even see you put that on there, Tina. Tina put on there the Von Erichs. Yes, uh, Von Erichs, Chris Adam, Fitz Von Erichs. Matter of fact, my my friend and I went go kart racing one time before Chris Adam uh, passed away. We went race go kart racing, and we go in and we seen Kerry and Chris Adam in there, and we were like, all right, cool. They was in front of us. We spoke. They spoke. We went on by our business. But it was always good to the history of wrestling. Bruiser Brody. Bruiser Brody was a bad man, um, and unfortunately lost his life because he traveled so much. He was in, I want to say he was in Mexico and ended up getting stabbed because he got into it with somebody. Um, but it was a lot of great athletes that came from the sportatorium. Only a few of them made it big once they closed the sportatorium down. Um, uh, what was that? David Mann, the referee. Um, and it was so amazing because on Saturday night we're watching wrestling, even though it was live, it was great. And I could go, and I'm not gonna do that tonight, Marcellus and radio. I'm not looking at YouTube tonight, but you could go on there and uh, look at some of the past shows, the big match, when the Von Erichs were fighting the Freebirds at Texas Stadium, and Sunshine Anderson did the mud fighting with somebody else. I forgot who she fought, but I remember I was at that match and she messed around and had all this mud on her. And when she passed by, I was able to pat her on the back, and I didn't want to wash my hands. Um, didn't want to wash my hands. I actually tried to put a bag over to keep from getting the mud off. till my mama grabbed that bath and said, "Boy, you better go in there and take your bath." But I thought it was great. Hey, I touched Sunshine Anderson. Um, I was like, hey, but Dallas is a place that have a lot of great um, talent that come out of it, and it's gonna continue to come out. So definitely stay tuned because once we start doing those shows on Monday, um, that's why I say if you are a artist putting out positive music, definitely get with me. You can email me, and we'll put you on the rotation. Um, so we'll be doing that starting Monday. I'll talk more about that on Sunday, and so if I've reached out to you, make sure you get the information to me because I need to. Oh, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yes, uh, I've 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 learned about him um, after he passed away, but Stevie Ray Vaughan's put out great music. I was trying to think of his name earlier, but yes, Stevie Ray Vaughan's put out great music, and I'm like, man. So Dallas is a hot spot. Um, it's a lot of talent here, and it's a lot of talent everywhere. But some people just need to get that break, and that's the reason why I'm gonna start having different artists to come on to give them that opportunity, and um, just give them that opportunity where, hey, maybe they can make it big. The right person see them. So that's what we're gonna start doing on Mondays, and I'm glad we back in the new year. We have some more stuff coming up. I need to reach out to Miss Kincaid, um, try to get on her books for she could come back on the show and we could deal with mental health because it's still going on today, especially with everything that have happened in this last week. We definitely need some counseling going on, and if you are a licensed counselor that would love to provide your service on the show, definitely reach out to me. You can email me, um, shoot me a text. Prefer you email me, but if you need to, you can shoot me a text, and I will reach out to you because we all need counseling. And with everything that is going on today, we have no idea what may happen or what may not happen. Um, so, but y'all know what? Tonight is Wednesday night. I think, yeah, tonight is Wednesday. So you know what tomorrow is. You know who will be here tomorrow. So Miss Risky will be on the show tomorrow. Um, she have a lot of stuff she want to get off her chest. So tomorrow we're gonna talk with her, and don't forget I will be making an announcement tomorrow. So definitely tune in for that. So um, and as always, if it's ever anything you want us to speak on, regardless of what it is, um, send me a message and we will speak on it. If it's a topic you want us to speak on, let me know. We have no problem with speaking on it, as long as we're speaking the truth. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. For the ones just not coming on, you have been listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm M, Who You With Kurt Dog. And you can also follow me on all social media. If, let me say this, um, I've been having folks calling, talking about, well, not calling, but trying to get me to do um, different investment, Bitcoin. Look, I'm going to just block you. Uh, it's a difference if you want to talk about it. And please never put a link onto any of my social page. I will block you immediately. But other than that, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. TCal Radio Chaos, Marcellus, Miss Tina Adams. Uh, I got it right. Robin, thank y'all for tuning in. And everyone else that tuned in. If I can't remember your name, hey, charge it to the heart, to the mind, not the heart. I love each and every one of you. Until tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central.